Hi, my name is Abigail Cushman. I'm here with Eileen Kennedy and Barbara Noble, and we're going to take you guys through the work that the Altar Guild does for the church and everything that happens behind the scenes. So tell me, what is the Altar Guild? What work does the Altar Guild do?
Well, Altar Guild is the ministry at St. Mark's that prepares our altars for communion and all of our services. Not only that, we take care of all of the linens, all of the chalices, all of the materials that go into preparing them.
Services are different, so there are going to be different preparations, different setups, different vestments that the priest will wear. And we're about to approach the high altar right here, and there's a chapel altar over there, so they're different as well, and we can show you some of that.
So different color frontals indicate different
Seasons of the liturgical year and different events during the year. For example, funerals and memorials are always dressed in white. Baptisms are always dressed in white.
So if you're changing the altar and everything so often as the liturgical season changes, where do you keep everything when it's not set up out here?
That's our Altar Guild sacristy. So can we show it to you?
Yes, please.
Good.
So this is a calendar that we keep, and as you can see, all these numbers have different colors attached to them. So that shows us what colors to dress the altar in for each Sunday or each service that we do.
So one way to think about what we do in our sacristy is just like we all have a place where we dine as a family. Our altar is a place where we as Christians gather for the Last Supper, for communion. Here in this drawer we have a variety of linens that are put out on the table for each of these meals, each of these services.
And we use linen because it's a very ancient fabric. It was mentioned throughout the Bible, and it could even be symbolic of the shroud that wrapped Jesus' body. So linen is really the fabric that we will continue to use, and we have used for thousands of years.
So we were talking about how the altar compares to the dinner table at home. I'm curious, how does glassware, how do chalices fit into that concept of a table similar to the table at home?
Well, in this cabinet we keep all of the chalices and bowls that are used to hold the wine and the wafers. And we have the bowls that are used by the priest to distribute the communion hosts for each service. This is a lavabo bowl, which is used for the priests to wash their hands. It's kind of more of a ritual washing. In this cabinet, we can move over here and show you, this is where we keep the wine, port wine, used for communion, and the wafers.
So what we do for a chalice is we start with a corporal. The corporal is used to wipe the rim before each congregant sips, okay? That's covered with a paten, and on the paten goes the priest's wafer, okay? So then the wafer goes here. That's covered with a pall. A pall is always used to cover the wine. And then we have a veil. This is special because it's a St. Mark's. I always call it a dragon, but it's a lion. And that's draped like so. And then this cover goes on top, and inside it there's another corporal and a little veil, okay? The veil goes on any sacrament that is blessed at the altar, because when it's in here and it's not blessed, there's no veiling. Once it's blessed by the priest, it needs to be veiled, okay? And Eileen will show you that on the credence shelf. Okay, this is a very heavy door, so a latch keeps it from crashing down on people.
What we do is we put down a linen again that will hold all of the elements for communion. And it is, as you can see, there's a beautiful embroidery there across, so we're going to face it this way, out toward the altar. And on it we place, these are the reserve elements. These have been consecrated at a prior service, and we keep them veiled to show that they've been consecrated. Sunday mornings or before each service, we'll set up all of the chalices that are needed in the service. We'll put out the priest's host, the whole setup that Barbara just showed you, with the host and the chalice veil and the burse all on top is going to be sitting right over here, and that little lavabo bowl and the linen will be sitting here, and all of the elements that are needed, so that at the time during the service, the acolytes will come over and begin to bring each of these items up to the altar for the priests for the communion service. This is where we keep the frontals, which are like tablecloths, that we might use at home to dress up a table. And as we said, for each season, for many services, those colors are going to change. And this is where we store them. In here, we've got green, which will be our next color, because we're in what they call ordinary time now. And the purple is for Lent. Here we have red for Pentecost. And so these are very heavy tablecloths. They're called frontals. They go on the high altar, and we have a set for the chapel altar that's going to match. And so it's always kind of a scramble at the end of services to get ready for the next, but that's what we do. We clean up everything, and then we come back and change the frontals as the time requires. And we can go in and see the vestments next, where we keep those, and they're all going to be matching with these as well.
So this is where we store the priest's vestments, and once again, as Eileen told you, they match the frontals for the seasonal, the liturgical season. So a lot of these have been donated over the years by parishioners. Once again, you see that they're very, very special fabrics. They're quite dear.
How do these get kept clean? Because they're so important. I mean, if anything ever happens, do you just get a new one?
Well, they don't get very dirty in terms of sweaty or things, because the priests always have garments on underneath. We've taken some of the linen ones. I remember that we had a little wine accident on the green one year, and I did take it to the dry cleaner in New Canaan. They did a beautiful job. After I begged them, please don't shrink it, please don't shrink it. So, no, it worked out well. So that's what they wear. And so we make sure that whatever color frontal is on the altar, that we've put the appropriate chasubles in their sacristy, so it's easy for them to get ready for the service.
So just like at home, after any important event or dinner, we have to clean up our houses, but here you also go through a cleaning process with the altar and any service. How does that work? I see you have your Swiffer here.
We do. We clean up with a dry Swiffer or a wet Swiffer, depending on what we think we need. And it's just important to note that no machines are allowed to be on the altar. It's a sacred place. So we do this all by hand. And then after each service, the chalices get washed and dried in the altar guild room. And we kind of clear the table, just like at home. It's kind of, we're all a team. We pitch in and help clear the table and help wash and dry and put away all of the chalices and bowls.
Ready for the next time.
And if you ever have any leftover wafers, what happens to those and wine and what?
They go in that reserve that we showed you on the credence shelf that's covered by the lace, showing that it's been consecrated, so that we reserve it for the next service, hoping that it will be consumed in the next service.
And any wine that happens to be left in the chalices that were administered to the congregants, that can't be just thrown away down a drain. So we have two options. We can either take it outside and return it to the earth, pour it into the ground, or we have in our sacristy a covered basin called a piscina. which is a pipe that goes directly into the earth, not into a sewer system or anything. So any wine that's left, obviously you can't use it again once people have been drinking from the cup. It goes into the piscina.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for showing me around this entire process, and the behind the scenes experience has been fascinating to learn about. I'm so grateful for all the work you guys do for our church. It clearly is so important, and it really makes an impact, as we see right now with this upcoming funeral.
Thank you so much. It's really quite a joy to do it.
Thank you. Yes, oh, it is. It is. We love doing it. As I was saying, there's very little turnover on Altar Guild. We just love doing the work, and I thank you for your interest, Abigail.
Yes.
It's been fun to talk about it.
Yes, thank you so much.
It's been fun. Thank you,
Good.
guys.
Thanks.